Hey, what is going on, guys? This video today is going to be focusing on patch 4.5, which was added into Fortnite the day I'm doing this video, but you guys are going to be seeing about 36 hours after the patch was actually put into the game. And mainly in this video today, we are going to be focusing on the aspects of the patch that affected specifically the close range meta in Fortnite. Because even though the main focus of this patch has been the fact that they added Playground and eventually took it out for maintenance, there was a lot of really interesting gameplay changes in this patch, specifically focused on things like double pump, double heavy, and a few new elements in the close range meta in Fortnite Battle Royale. So let's get right into it by focusing on the gameplay changes that we're going to be discussing in depth in this video today. So shotguns were the first close range weapon that were affected in this patch, and yes, they were nerfed again for like a third time in the past month or so. But these rounds of nerfs were definitely not as serious as the last few because the shotgun damage on players was not affected at all. You know, the headshot multiplier is still exactly the same, the base body damage for all of the shotguns are still exactly the same, but there were two nerfs on shotguns. The first one is incredibly small and barely worth discussing, and the second one may seem small, but if you're an experienced double pump, double heavy, or some combination of the two user, you are going to realize how major this smallish nerf is actually going to be. So the very minor nerf is the fact that shotgun ammo now drops in stacks of 4 instead of in stacks of 5. This is, like I said, barely even worth discussing. All it means is that now whenever you're picking up naturally spawned shotgun ammo off the ground, which usually spawns right next to shotguns, you're only going to be picking up 4 shells instead of 5. And it's very minor because it really only affects the very beginning game when you only have like 8 or 9 shots in your shotgun and you may run through them without being able to pick up any more. That one extra shot may in some cases make the difference, but like I said, barely even worth discussing. The second change, the one that may seem minor if you're not super experienced with double shotguns, but if you use it a lot and you're really good with it, you'll appreciate how big of a nerf this actually is. The fact that shotgun damage to structures has been reduced by 50% for pump shotguns and 25% for both tactical shotguns and heavy shotguns. Now, I showed you guys a tip in my double pump, double heavy hand cam video that I really wish I emphasized a lot more when discussing double shotguns on my channel. And that was the fact that one of the most underrated aspects of double pump and double heavy is the fact that it is such a crazy structure destroyer. If you crack someone for like 130 with a pump shotgun and they're a good player, what they're going to do is immediately build, box themselves up, try to ramp up to high ground, basically so they could find a nice little dark corner about 2 levels in the air and heal up and re-engage before you can kill them. But if you were good with double pump and double heavy, you had a good rhythm, you were able to switch and shoot really quickly, you could basically destroy those walls and ramps and whatever buildings your enemies are placing down and get inside their little cube before they can even replace it and block you off. This would lead to you killing people with their pen and paper out trying to build a lot more than you would ever expect. Now, with this nerf, that has been seriously impacted. I mean, I didn't think it would be as huge of a deal when I first read the patch notes, but especially with pumps cutting building damage down in half, it's super noticeable. And even for heavies, and this is actually a small little buff on heavies compared to pumps, because their building damage was nerfed a little less than pumps, 25% to be exact. It's still really apparent, even though I've only been playing with this patch for about a full day now, how many more times I'm cracking someone for 120, 130, they're down to 30, 40 health left, and they'll be able to basically build a wall and a ramp and then a box around themselves and get in a corner and hide before I'm able to destroy all their buildings and find them. So this, even though it may not seem like a big nerf to shotguns, if you're good with double pump or double heavy, it's definitely noticeable. And to be honest, I don't think this change alone would have really changed the meta much. It would have definitely hurt double pump and double heavy, but I think it still would have stood alone as the dominant close range combo in Fortnite. But there was a third, much more noticeable patch that also severely impacts the close range meta in Fortnite, and that is the buffs to both tactical SMGs and silenced SMGs. So I'll put the details of that on the screen now and read it off to you guys. For tactical SMGs, they remove first shot accuracy, but that really doesn't matter that much because first shot accuracy is more for like medium long to long range weapons. They increased base accuracy by 25%, lowered the sprinting accuracy penalty by 15%, lowered the ADS bonus by 10%, and maybe most importantly of all, increased damage by +2 per shot. Silenced SMGs also buffed around the same amount, increased base accuracy by 10%, increased ADS accuracy bonus by 20%, and increased damage by +2, exactly like the TAC SMG. This is plain and simple a very noticeable buff for both the TAC and silenced SMG. So now we get to the part of the video where I get to discuss what all of these changes mean for the close range meta in Fortnite Battle Royale. Because I am seeing people freaking out all over Twitter, all in my YouTube comments, all over Reddit and other Fortnite forums. Oh my god, it's over, double pump's dead, heavy pump, double heavy, it's dead, it's now double SMG, that's the best combo in the game, oh my god, the purple TAC SMG is now better than the Scar. And all I want to say is hold your horses on that crazy talk, okay? I played for about a full day today with this patch. I played a bunch of tournaments, some solo squads. I used a bunch of different combinations of all kinds of new metas that people are thinking up. Pump SMG, double SMG, just single SMG. I went back and gave a lot of try to double pump, double heavy, heavy pump. I've pretty much tried it all, so I think I'm super qualified now to discuss this topic. And my thoughts are, if you think that double pump or double heavy or heavy pump is dead, you're seriously wrong. But if you think that double pump, double heavy, or the combination of the two is still clearly the best close range option in Fortnite, you're also wrong there. I think this patch actually did a really good job, and I think it did exactly what Epic intended for it to do, which was add a ton of diversity to the close range meta in Fortnite Battle Royale. Look, ever since around 4 months ago, it's been a 2 shotgun dominant meta, and it's been exactly the same 2 shotguns. It was double pump all the way back, then that got patched and it turned to pump TAC, then double pump came back so it went back to double pump, then the pump got heavily nerfed so it turned into double pump if that's all you have, but if you can get double heavy that's way better. This is the first time maybe ever in Fortnite that there are seriously like at least 5 or 6 close range combinations that are really viable in Fortnite. And I think that is great news for those of you guys out there, and I know there's a ton of you guys that comment in my comments, oh bro, I just can't do double pump, you know, I don't have a scuff, I don't have an elite controller, I'm just not quick enough with the switching, I have way too high of a ping, I get way too many ghost hit markers. Well, hallelujah for you guys, it is your lucky day, because seriously, this patch makes the SMGs really viable in the meta. Out of all the combinations I tried using the SMG, I would say my personal favorite was pump / heavy plus SMG, because you get the super high burst damage of one of those 2 shotguns, the ability to one-shot anyone with under like 170 health or under 192 if you have a heavy, plus you get the spray ability of the TAC SMG, and maybe most importantly, you get the dominant building destroying of the SMG as well. What is so good about that is with double pump, double heavy, you don't really have that crazy building destroying potential anymore. It's still really good, but you don't really shred through structures the way you used to before this patch. With the SMG, you can do that. It is legitimately one of the best building destroying weapons in the game close range, because it's got a really large clip with 35 shots, really solid DPS, fast fire rate, and also a really quick reload time. So you can just consistently spray it and reload until either the guy runs out of materials or you get inside of his building somehow. I personally didn't have a ton of success with double SMG or single SMG, simply because I feel like if you're really accurate, that burst damage of either a heavy or pump shotgun is something that's simply unmatched in Fortnite. But if you guys just altogether hate single shot shotguns, I could see why double SMG or even single SMG paired with something like an RPG with how overpowered those now are could also be a viable close range option in Fortnite. So just to wrap it up here, I'm someone that's still probably at the end of the day gonna stick with the tried, true, and tested either double heavy, double pump, or heavy pump, just because I play super aggressive, super close range, super in everyone's face, and that's simply the best option for my playstyle because I feel like I can be really accurate. But if you're one of the tons of guys out there that struggle with either double shotguns or just shotguns in general, you're not accurate enough, you want to be able to spray people down and spray down their buildings and not be super punished for missing like 1 or 2 shots, well then boy, this patch has been basically a renaissance of your Fortnite game because the close range meta is probably as good as it's going to be ever for you guys right now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave me a comment down below with your thoughts on this new patch and what you're personally going to be using as your close range arsenal in Fortnite. Leave a like, subscribe, do whatever the heck you want, and I will catch you guys next time.